this, Mr. Farenthold.
Thank you very much. And I can't get started without questioning some of the characterizations of the speakers and the House Republicans' plan. I'm not sure our panelist or the gentlelady from the District of Columbia has actually reviewed the very detailed plan outlined on the better.gop website, and I would encourage them to do that. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask some of my questions. Dr. Cohen, I'm going to start with you. In your testimony, you said that the CBO estimates said that we were actually below the CBO estimates for what this plan would cost. How does that jibe with everybody's health insurance is going to go down $2,500? It seems like you knew with the CBO estimates you referred to in your testimony at the time the Affordable Care Act was enacted. We knew they were going to go up.
So I think we're talking about two different groups of folks. Both I mentioned, one are the 150 million Americans, all of these panelists, who get our health insurance through our employers. And if you look at the cost of those premiums, it's actually been the slowest growth in the last
But wouldn't you say the benefits have gone down? I'll just use an anecdotal example. My daughter's employer, based on the increased cost of coverage, was forced to take her from a very generous first dollar plan to a $3,000 deductible plan that, when she had to visit the emergency room earlier this year, wiped out her savings account.
So we very much agree with you that high deductible plans are challenging for folks, which is why the Affordable Care Act has limit on out-of-pocket costs. And for folks who have incomes below 250% of poverty, they have limits and they have ability to do cost sharing.
All right. Now, under the Affordable Care Act, as a member of Congress, I'm required to purchase my insurance on the D.C. exchange. I pay over $1,000 a month for that insurance. With these premium increases that we are talking about of double digits, I could see as much as a $2,000 per year increase in my premiums. That doesn't sound affordable to me either.
So the important part about the Affordable Care Act is now that you know what you're buying when you buy that insurance. It covers those essential health benefits, prescription drug costs, and such. In addition, if you had any pre-existing conditions before, you have options.
I was better off under FEHB, I'll tell you that. And again, I'm also concerned about the lack of coverage options that are available. Mr. Giese, I'm going to go to you, and I'm going to go Texas-specific since I'm a Texan. We're seeing projections for 2017 rate increases for your company of just phenomenal. I mean, what do you see going and happening with those rate increases for people forced to buy through the exchange? Microphone, please.
First, please understand that the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association that I'm here representing is a federation of 36 independently run plans. The strategy and pricing decisions of any specific plan are...
All right, we'll go to Mr. Redmer for a second. One of the complaints I'm hearing out of my hometown of Corpus Christi and the areas that I represent is if you wanted to buy a PPO plan now in cities like Houston, and we're getting there in Corpus Christi, there simply isn't one available. You're stuck with an HMO where you have things like with Mr. Gosar, you have a gatekeeper before you can get the care. Why are we losing all these choices?
That's one of the problems that we're seeing all around the country. In some parts of the country, we're seeing folks only have an option of a PPO. In other parts of the country, other counties, they may only have an option of an HMO. So the shrinkage of competition and carriers is a real problem.
All right, thank you very much. And Dr. Cohen, one last question for you as my time is about to expire. When Dr. Gosar asked the question about was the intent all along to move to a single-payer system, you smiled. Is that because you believe that to be true, or What's your take on that?
No, it's because we work so collaboratively with state departments of insurance and the many private issuers to provide Americans access to affordable coverage through private insurance. So I think my smile was we work so closely with folks in the private sector that I don't see how that intent could be read into what we're doing here.
It certainly seems to be the end result, with premiums going so high and deductibles skyrocketing and choices going down. The American people are incredibly dissatisfied in, it seems like if you were to create a system designed to wreck what I consider to be the best healthcare system in the world, you've done it. I see I'm out of time, and I'll yield back.
I thank the gentleman. The chair